So I'm an artist, and artists are very, very emotional people. So I'm a very, very emotional person. And this situation where you're being trolled puts you in the dark room where you don't want to connect with anybody and you're left all alone. You are just by yourself, because how would you face your family?
Welcome to the Global Indian Podcast, the world's greatest journey and the official platform for people of Indian origin. Because let's face it, we are everywhere. My name is Rajan Nazran, and on our weekly show, we plunge into the human experience of being a person of Indian origin, take a closer look at the countries we now call home, and tackle the issues you need to know more about. This is the world's greatest journey that will ultimately change the way you see the notion of Indianness to be, and importantly, our connection to each other. Every week, the team and I are joined by our guests, where we have open conversations about the 50 shades of brown that is our experience, and take a closer look at the issues close to their hearts. In this episode, we travel all the way down to Pakistan to meet with a dear friend who's an actor and a famous icon on Pakistan TV, especially for his dramas, Saim Ali, where he opens up and discusses some of the biggest issues close to his heart, which includes issues that are really connected with the acting world. Things such as trolling, online abuse, having a look at the mental health behind the entertainment industry, but more so shedding light upon the craft itself. It really is an ear-opening episode, because I'm sure for many it's the first time you're hearing the perspectives directly from the horse's mouth. Again, that you hear at the beginning of this episode, it's a remarkable conversation because it surpasses our notions of identity through nationhood, but really looks towards the geographical area that we all belong to. As always, if you'd like to find out more about the Global Indian series, listen to the end of the podcast, where I can give you more details on how to reach out to us, how you can also get your story covered, and more importantly, how you can also be involved. This podcast has been supported by our dear friends at ShareMe.com, the app for all your beauty, wellness, and fitness needs. I hope you enjoy this session.
And just move. Get up 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 and just.
I suppose the best part about this is if we imagine that there's no borders, so there's no India, there's no Pakistan, there's no politics involved, which will make the world a better place. And rather than saying it's people of origin of the land, even better actually for both of us is people of Punjabi origin, which we're a country within ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Sam, you're celebrated as being an actor, as a rising star in Pakistan, as a celebrity. But there's much more to that, because you're also a human being. You're somebody that goes through the emotions, somebody that sees the world as it is. And one thing that we've kept in really strong touch is that you're very down to earth and you really know what society is going through. And putting on the basis of everything that's taking place in Pakistan, and obviously we heard about the things in India with the actor. Sam, what's it like being you? Not as an actor, not as a celebrity, but being a human being like yourself that's constantly on camera, with almost the radio in your ear, with everybody watching your every single move. The best thing is, what do you define as fame? Is this what fame means?
You know, it's very sad and it's very unfortunate. I never, I've grown up watching Bollywood. I've grown up watching Pakistani movies, and I always wanted to become this hero or that hero. I have always visualized myself, doing something or the other in these films. And because of social media, because of globalization, because of the Instagram world that we are living these days, and it has become very, very tough for every public figure, for every artist out there, because whatever we do, if a female actress in Pakistan is smoking, You have no idea how much trolling she has to face. And if a male actor in Pakistan is promoting liberal Islam or liberal social lifestyle, or or basically boosting the modern lifestyle in being in Pakistan, there are so many people who would just judge. Judgment, when you judge somebody, I think this is the most what I've gone through is, I'm somebody's son. My sister is close to me. I still, she owns me as a brother first, and as or my mother is very emotionally, very, very emotionally attached to me. So she knows me from the day one, and she cannot connect with the actor Saim, or a influencer on Instagram, or a TV host. No, not even my dad. I belong from a very orthodox family. My family is very conservative, yet very liberal. They don't know the dynamics of being a media person. They don't know what trolling is like. And so this situation itself puts me into a trouble, because they don't know anything, but I'm answerable to.
And it's a disconnect, isn't it? Because you're living in two worlds. You've got the old world, the traditional world, then you have the new world, and then you have this digital world where you have the internet keyboard warriors who can, without face, say things to you, and it has an impact. Sam, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, please go on.
What does loneliness feel like to you? Because you've got the cameras constantly there. You're almost right now starved of the oxygen of doing what you love, which is being on the TV because of COVID and the lockdown. And then all of a sudden you have people stating allegations and making up troll abuse and almost throwing mud at you, and you've got no mechanism or means to put it out there. And yet you're still young. You're still going through all of that. How does that feel?
So it actually breaks you from inside, because you see the energy that I have inside me is very, I'm a very I want to be all out there. I want to, I love being a workaholic person. I love experimenting new stuff. One day I'm dancing, the other day I'm hosting something, or the third day I'm acting, I'm crying in the scene. So I'm an artist, and artists are very, very emotional people. So I'm a very, very emotional person. And this situation where you're being trolled puts you in the dark room, where you don't want to connect with anybody, and you're left all alone. You are just by yourself, because how would you face your family? How would you face your dear ones when you know that they are also on the same page on social media and following you and reading all that bullshit? How many times you would answer people? How many times? How many clarifications? So it breaks you from inside, for sure. But you see, we all have our religion and belief. So let's take my post of today. Today is Friday, so I posted a picture while I'm reading my holy book. And even then I'm being trolled. People are abusing me that, oh, look at him, he's being saint. He's acting so saint. Look at him. Hey, where are all the girls that you party with? Where are your all fancy clothing? And you know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from. So you see, so we are living two lives, but this is who I am right now with you. I'm being myself right now. So as I told you, I belong from a very orthodox family. My family is very, very, you know how Punjabis are. You yourself is a Punjabi, Punjab, I'm a Punjabi family. Lahore is in Punjab. Lahore is the heart. So I'm a Punjabi. My father is a hardcore Punjabi. He speaks Punjabi fluently, So he doesn't know the dynamic of being, how they say in Punjabi, "Oh putter tenu galan kyu peh rahiyan?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how would what should I tell him? You know what I mean? So,
Is that a consequence of fame though, Sam? Because you're in the public eye. Most people say, well, that's part and parcel of success. You know, you've worked hard, you're up there, but because you reach that pinnacle, there's almost a stardom, and people think that you have to have skin made out of Teflon, because you are going to get people that hate you. Do you think it's justified? Do you think fame justifies people's perception of you that they can publicly air it? Because you make your money from being in the public side.
you know what? I never thought of having a negative publicity. I never wanted to have controversies in my life. I'm a turtle, so I wanted to take baby steps. You see, I don't want to be a star overnight. No, I'm happy doing what I am doing or whatever I have in my plate. I never seek for wrong publicity. You have no idea how many hate mails I have received in these 19 days, and how many people must have reached my account and on my YouTube channel, and so many mails. They're countless, and I was shocked because on the other side, a very popular I'm a part of a very popular drama serial. In Pakistan, dramas are bigger than movies.
Yeah, well, you had a cinema that didn't show any movies, and they showed a drama series, the finale, right?
Exactly. So dramas are like huge and massive in Pakistan, as well as Pakistani audience around the world. That's why I go. I travel so much and I do shows and stuff. So basically, and when you come across of a video where where this person is throwing mud on you, and just going on and on about your so-called lifestyle, or you are doing XYZ things to run your kitchen, or you are taking a shortcut to be who you are right now, or traveling in a first class or wearing a Rolex. I mean, I don't get it. How people are so, there is a part of media which is very, very vicious and vindictive. I remember, I absolutely agree with Sikandar Khair, and I posted his video on my story on Instagram. The guy was on point. The industry is bitter. It's extremely, it takes everything from you. It takes the innocence from you. I'll be 27 this year in November, and I have seen life at a very early age. I never thought that I would go through all this. Just now, I'm just few dramas old. I've done theater. I've done so many. I've not so many, but I've done a lot of TV shows. But there is a long way to go. I never thought. But even then, I'm being very, very positive. It breaks my heart when I read abusive comments on my social media, and how people, without even knowing the truth, how they make a judgment on you. Oh, if he is driving this car, he must be robbing a bank, or he must be running I don't know, I don't want to use bad words here. So anyway, so you see, so I'm not being a saint here, you see, but I was nowhere close to any accusation of that.
But do you think that they're doing it almost in their own crass way to become pseudo-celebrities? That they look at you, and I suppose the role of celebrities has changed throughout life. Before it was how big you are, how strong you are, if you're an Olympic athlete. Now you're almost on a pedestal of being social custodians. And other people look at that fame, and the only way they can replicate it, not by the hard work that you have honestly done, is by trying to pull down other people, because it gives them their own 50 minutes of fame. it gives them their own business platform. Do you think that that person did it on the basis that they thought they could get positive publicity for themselves? And if
Yeah,
that's the case, don't you think people in Pakistan see the dangers of that? Because if we start, even in India for that sake, because if we start living in a life whereby almost one-upmanship, we're going to start living in a very terrible life for our children and our grandchildren, everybody else. Do people realize that you're, and I know it sounds so stupid, so do forgive me, but do people realize that you're actually a human being, Sam? Or do they just think that you're a character on the end of the screen?
yeah, this is what I think, because you see, whenever I meet, even if I meet a fan who loves me, even they will say, oh, in that scene you look so different. How, you know, so do you actually wear this, or you actually, or do you, you shake hands with the girl, but in that drama serial you were playing a very noble doctor. Oh, so you like this in real? Oh God, oh really? You see, so they think that we literally, I don't think so. They think that we are, they see us as human. They think that we are ATM machines. Whatever you'll put, you'll get the same amount. No, you see, they think that we're robots, you see. And this is what it's, this is what it's so painful, because I remember, we're going through such a bad time all over the world.
Yeah.
We are in a lockdown. The world is going through so much these days, and we as human, the guy was so right. We are virus.
Yeah.
The Mother Earth is so upset with all of us.
Yeah.
The Mother Earth is upset because what we have, God has given us so much, and what are we giving back to the Mother Earth? You see, negativity, war, abusive language from right, left, and center, throwing stones, stealing houses. You see, so, but when I look down, then I forget my pain, Rajan. There is so much going on in the world, Then I sit back and I think that, oh, okay, if he has done it for a cheap publicity stunt to get some numbers on his YouTube channel, okay, let him. It's fine. People are dying. People are dying. So many numbers. My own family, she is hospitalized right now. And yet, I am taking it very seriously, because, Rajan, if I'm not going to take a legal action against this trolling business or these shows, because if I'm an artist, I'm doing it for my own fraternity.
Yeah.
People are scared. I'm not. They think that I belong from a lower middle class family. I belong from a very good family, alhamdulillah. I was 7 years old when I started traveling with my dad, with my mom. I'm they think, if you go and watch those videos, this gentleman from the UK, he called himself a journalist, where he's actually ethically he's going wrong on journalism by putting so much dirt on somebody and showing somebody's Instagram and picture and saying, oh, look at him, how is he traveling business class, first class, how is he wearing all these branded clothes? I'm a businessman, I cannot afford this. Hello, I belong from a good family. My father is a landlord, alhamdulillah. I have seen, for me, traveling.
But I think those who know you are supposed to be very fortunate that you're not very materialistic, Sam. You're really not. You're actually incredibly down to earth. And I suppose it's very easy for people to target you because they don't actually know you that well. I think it'd be very difficult for them to target you once they've got to know you, once they've actually heard you speak. But you're right, that what that individual's done goes against the nobility of what our life's professions are, which is actually to showcase what the real world really is, the human experience of being a person. So what does it mean to you being Punjabi? Let's go from that side first. You know, because you're coming from a core ethics of saying actually we have to have better value to each other. We have to recognize that we're all in this together, that there's no high, there's no low, but we also have to recognize what's fair and what's not fair. What does that mean to you? What does being a Punjabi mean to you? And what does it mean to you being an actor as well?
So basically, I'm a born artist. I was very, very little when my mom used to tell me that I used to, I started dancing, and I was very little when I started dancing in front of the mirror. So the germs were there from the very first day. So, and being Punjabi is, we are very, Punjabis are very hospitable. They're very loud. They're very welcoming. Hospitality is there in their blood, So, and they're foodie, they're fun loving. They love the gup shop. They like to have people around them, So, and also Rajan, you know what? I believe that one should stick to his roots. One should never forget where he comes from. Where is he? Where does he belongs to? Even if you become whoever you want to become in life, you should never forget your roots. And this is what my mother has always taught me. And as I said, London is like my second home. My uncles, they're born in, my cousin's born and raised in the UK. So this gentleman has issues of me traveling to the UK so many times. He doesn't know I have half of my family lives in London.
But it's not about him though, is it? It's just more the principle of why is it seen that you're an actor? You're not a celebrity, you're an actor first. You've got a craft that you've worked incredibly hard for. It wasn't given to you in a play. I know everyone talks about either Pakistan or India, this idea of nepotism, and it does happen. But yours isn't a story of actor, okay, I'm going to come through the back door. You've worked hard for that.
Oh, you have no idea, Rajan. Let me tell you one thing here. I went door to door. My father was against me coming into show business. As he says, I want to say it exactly in his language, okay? In Punjabi. So he says, "Oh, Sayyada Karich Kanjar paida ho gaya." So he says that, So this is a pure Punjabi, you see. So he said, "Oh, tu nachega, gayenga TV jaake," So he was against all that. But then when he saw me working hard day and night, and when he actually saw me on shows on television, so he felt good about it. When his friends started calling him, "Oh, tada putra bada changa lag raha drama," So he started taking it positive, Yeah. And then there's always two sides of the business. I don't know why show business around the world is so is being trolled from the day one. I don't know why. There are good people, there are bad people in every business, I believe. Yeah. It's up to you. It's up to you, right? So I went door to door for work, and I still go. I still call my producers. I still call the production houses. I need work. I'm doing this. This project is on air. I need next project. I think there is no shame in calling for work. I think I do not feel, I'm not arrogant. Generally, I'm not an arrogant person. Right. I don't feel ashamed of calling people for work, And then when you are in lockdown, when the situation, when, everybody is at home, Rajan, I was working every day in Ramadan. I was hosting one of the best shows on Ramadan, in Ramadan, as the main host. So I am blessed that way. And I am so shocked how these people are not looking at somebody's struggle, keeping your life in danger, where you have corona on you go out of the house, you have viruses. And yet I'm going every day to the studio, shooting my show every day, because it was on air 30 days of Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan.
What did it mean to you to do that? Because there'll be those who will be skeptical out there saying, well, it's a job, you get paid for that, but you're doing it for a deeper reason. What did it mean to you to go there every day? Why did you do it?
Rajan, you know what? I have always thought of hosting a Ramadan transmission. It feels so good, it feels so special inside. It feels so special that I did studies. I was not a good Islamic student in my teens, in my school days, because, we've all gone through English medium schooling, very, very English. So Islamic studies I was not good at Islamic studies. But then in this month, or in, whenever Ramadan is here, I make sure that I go through all the basic books.
Yeah.
And I did. And my show went really well. And it was, I gave my 100%. Forget the money that I got, forget the stardom or whatever you call it. I was so excited and thrilled to host
because you finally got to live the dream that you had, which is to do that.
Yes, and you know how much heat you have in the studio, where there are so many lights on you. There is so much pressure on you, that if I say one wrong sentence, religiously, Islamic scholars will attack me.
Absolutely.
It's a very sensitive content, and Alhamdulillah, there was no mistake whatsoever. Otherwise, the trollers, they're just waiting for one wrong sentence and you're gone. So I'm shocked. How come these people, they don't acknowledge that? I've been working for the last 7 years, and I have worked and I have gone city to city, small towns for shootings, in such situations where there's no air conditioning, in boiling heat, and no clean water to drink. And yet we have to look all handsome and all good and happy and smiling, wearing those clothes. So it takes so much from you.
I suppose people look at you and they say, well, you've reached success, so therefore you must always be happy. You must always be in this state of mind. Are you always happy? Is that what success really means? Do you feel?
No, yes, it is. Like I'm not being thankless. I'm very, very thankful for whatever Allah has blessed me with. But you have to be happy from within.
Yeah.
If wearing an XYZ brand and I'm not being happy wearing it, there is no point of that brand or branded clothes or expensive wardrobe.
Yeah.
You have to be happy from inside, and I feel big when I am helping somebody, or if I'm feeding my cat or any other cat. I feel great. I feel exactly the same when I give a good shot and my director says, oh, this is a good shot. That moment, I genuinely feel happy, And when I'm feeding my cat or any pet, or I'm helping somebody, I don't want to mention all that, because then people say, oh, he's being very...
This is you and I, is our audience. Look, I think people are wise enough when they listen to the show to know that you're being upfront and honest. But what you're saying is that when you give your all and you help people, you're not doing it for the glory. You're doing it because it's your personal expression of who you are. And you feel good for that. And then all of a sudden, even out of your art, the things that you're doing from the soul to make a difference, people are criticizing it, yet they don't see the impact that has. You wouldn't do that in any other profession, would you? You wouldn't have a look at somebody that's a designer and all of a sudden you start throwing at them over one thing. You think, no, give them time, they can achieve something. You wouldn't do it. Well, cricket's slightly different, I suppose. That's in its own politics of itself.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that with anyone else. So why is it the case that people think it's fair game to attack actors? What's that mentality that they have that thinks actually it's a right to do this to them?
So basically, I'll tell you, they fantasize actors. They look up to them. They want to be like them. And there are only some amount of people who they go very bitter by looking at us, or not, okay, forget me. They're just looking at them, and they are, they just want to
Are they measuring their own definition of success or worth by looking at actors and celebrities and thinking that's what life should be like, and you're living it, why can't I live it? So therefore, that anger, rather than dealing with myself, I'm going to portray it on you.
Exactly. So they have so much inside them. They're not gonna they will put everything on anyone they want to. They will abuse us. They will judge us. They will think that we are so successful, and we are bad human beings. Whatever good we'll do, they'll say, oh, he's doing or she is doing it just to show off, So I don't know. I think when I remember there's an actor, I don't want to name him, but he's of course more popular than I am, and he went into a very, very bad, really, really bad situation in Pakistan of Me
Too.
Me Too, yeah. And he is being so popular in Pakistan and in India. And I completely love the guy. He is amazing. But then I saw him in pieces, and then I realized he has given so much to Pakistan. He has, he is so big, and he has done, his hard work is incredible. And yet just one wrong accusation and he's gone, or it did broke him at that time.
Do you almost stand on eggshells every time that you have to be in public, that you have to consciously think, I have to say what other people expect me to say? Like, because if that's the case, that's a really tough existence to have.
Or I get very conscious because I get scared also, that I don't know what they're going to ask or what they're going to say or what they're going to throw on me. I get scared. And I get scared. Thank God we're using masks these days. I can freely go on the road because I'm wearing the mask. And mask on top, I wear my shades. So no one knows who I am. I happily go and do my groceries, with the social distancing and, keeping all the SOPs. But I can breathe, Rajan. I am so happy wearing that mask. And you know what? I'm only wearing that mask, not because of Corona, because I want to hide. I want to protect myself, because you don't know what somebody will come and throw at you, So I get scared now. So this is where you get lonely. This is where you get hurt the most, where you have fear inside you, and the fear is becoming bigger and bigger day by day, because you working in show business, but you don't want to show yourself at the same time. You want to be as private as any normal person, but my requirement of my business is I have to put my every single thing on out there, because this is what, what I mean, right? So yeah, so this is very tough, very, very tough.
We heard of in India, at least with Sushant Singh, and he committed suicide. And a lot of people are blaming other actors and the bullying that took place. But I think people have also forgotten the ability that the general public can have on somebody and that emotional impact, because that can be absolutely devastating. And then we always think, no, it's something else. I suppose we're all culpable. We're all to blame if we are to throw mud at anybody. Like, have you ever had those feelings before where you think enough is enough? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be an actor. I don't want to do it. Or have you ever thought, actually, is it worth it? I promise you, I do not do this intentionally at all. Oh, maybe just a tiny bit, but not too much. As you probably realize, yes, this is a two-part episode with Saim Ali. In the second part, we really do plunge deep in to this whole notion of the cyber world in which we live in, that actors also have to go through. We take a stab at really the big notions at hand here about the acting world between India and Pakistan. What's it like there? And more importantly, really go into the human approach of Saim Ali's life. It is a remarkable conversation that I think will lead to a dramatic expression for you as an audience. That you get to see what everybody else has in similar, but also that even in our differences, we are still remarkably the same. Is a wonderful conversation. As always, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you'd like to find out more about the Global Indian series, this incredible living encyclopedia that we're creating from the people of the land that have gone all over the world, it couldn't be easier. If you want to reach out via social media, if you're on Instagram, straightforward, all you have to do is go to @the or @the Global Indian series, and you can see all our details there and ways to touch base with us. If you listen to this via Podbean, it's theglobalindian.podbean.com. There you can see our entire encyclopedia of conversations so far, so make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you listen to this via YouTube, again, all you have to do is type in the Global Indian series, and there you can see the entire encyclopedia of the conversations. Again, make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share, because with your help, ultimately, we get to create this incredible living encyclopedia of these remarkable voices that can also include yours. And when I mean yours, again, this is about the everyday individual. So if you have a story, or story about your forefathers that you want to showcase, that you want to tell, reach out to us via the platforms that we mentioned, or even that you can see in the icon that you're watching this on, and I'd love to hear from you directly. Until next week, I hope all remains well and safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.